My name is David Suarez. I'm a partner with PwC. I'm based in Dubai, and I lead all the human capital consulting activities for the firm in the Middle East.
Thanks, David. My name is Stuart Schooler. I'm a financial services partner with PwC, based in Dubai with regional roles. One of the things I'm responsible for is championing he for she for the Middle East.
Embrace change, embrace disruption, step out of your comfort zone. Very, very difficult to do that. We ask that of our people, but oftentimes as leaders, we're actually quite comfortable with where we are. Push that comfort zone. If you do not push beyond where you are today, eventually you're going to fail as a leader. But don't be afraid of that. Push out of that and embrace change, embrace disruption.
For me, it's a bit about what do you stand for and what do you want to be known for, and thinking about as a leader, what's your legacy. And so if you set that as a framework and have strong values and integrity about what you do day to day, and you lead your team from the front, and you embrace those challenges and embrace your people, I think naturally that will help our leaders and help individuals be leaders in terms of what they do day to day. When I think about it, it's interesting to compare and contrast the absolute change to the relative change. And I think one of the challenges around the Middle East is our starting point is completely different depending upon what country you're in. So the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, how we deal with in that environment around diversity and gender equality is a lot different than our starting point of where we are in other parts of the region. So I would hope that by 2030 that we've got a lot more equality and the playing field's a lot more even in terms of where we are at that point of time when we think about diversity and inclusion. And so the relative change, some places, is going to be a lot more challenging around embracing these changes as we move forward around diversity and inclusion.
Can I maybe pick up on that? I think because you just stirred another thought, and that is, in the Middle East in particular, we have, I would say, an advantage, right? On the one hand, we have a very young population, and that population is going to be, in 13 years' time, many of them will become leaders. On the other hand, we have what I would call a technology-savvy population, right? I mean, the Middle East has the highest penetration of social media than any other region in the world. So leapfrogging, I think this region is particularly well placed to be able to do that leapfrogging successfully. In the year 2030, let's remember that countries like Saudi Arabia, for instance, with the National Transformation Plan, that's their target, right? In 13 years' time, they want to be in a very, very different place. But I think that they're uniquely positioned to do that, given the makeup of our population and how technology savvy they are.
As a firm, frankly, we've got a lot to do, and that is an acknowledged issue at the highest levels of leadership around what we need to do in the Middle East around diversity and inclusion. Having said that, we are doing things. I'm the he for she champion for the Middle East firm, and that means getting proactive acknowledgement from the people that work at PwC that they support gender equality. And so we're now at a point where we've got 66% of our partners and staff that have signed up to the he for she initiative, and acknowledging that they will think about in terms of how they interact and what they do every day around gender equality. The other thing we've started to do is think about our upcoming females in particular, and we've developed a director sponsorship program. So this is about identifying senior partners across the firm that focus on individual directors within the firm and unashamedly go out and promote them in a positive way in terms of giving them opportunities that perhaps they wouldn't otherwise have. So this is about flipping it around and creating an environment which is proactively supporting our female talent.
So Stuart, if I can build on that, I think, by the way, I'm one of the signatories of He for She. I think initiatives like this are very useful. They're very useful to create awareness, because the first thing that you have to do when you want to change is you got to be aware that there's something that has to change, right? And in that sense, I think it's great. But I think if we just stop at that, and I'm not saying that we're stopping at that, if we stop at that, then we will obviously get something wrong. All of these programs are meant to be a catalyst for something else. The way that I interpret he for she is, it's funny because this is a bit like the reverse mentoring thing. This is about men. This is an initiative about men, because it's about how he thinks about her. Yeah, we need to kind of put ourselves in the mindset of women and what that means in terms of a working environment. Signing something, I think it's nice, but then I think we need to follow that up with actions. This is not an affirmative action program. I don't think, at least I don't interpret it that way. I think this is about really trying to put men and women on equal footing when it comes to promotion, to career advancement. Let me just say, I don't want to say this to pat my own back, but in people and organization, for instance, we have, I think, one of the highest, if not the highest, percentage of women partners. We have 40% of our partners in the unit are women. And actually that shows. I think we need to do a lot more, but that diversity of gender in the leadership team is something that really helps a lot, and that we have a sore need of, not just in PwC, but I would say across a lot of the professional services as well.